All right, guys, what's going on? Back at you again with another Arbitrum ecosystem update. And as usual, of course, none of this is financial advice, and everything that I say here is my opinion and my opinion alone. As you can see, we have a guest with us here today. Just ignore him, please. If he squawks or anything like that, we'll deal with it. Anyways, first tweet today by Average Joe's Crypto. He says Arbitrum has the highest net inflows of any chain over the past 7 days, with a 24-hour net flow of $11.6 million and a 7-day net flow of $147 million. Wonder what happens next. Just wanted to highlight this here. Pretty insane stats coming in from the Arbitrum ecosystem today, and honestly, this entire week. As you can see here, compared to the other chains in terms of 24-hour net flow, I guess the second closest to the $11 million that entered Arbitrum is the $162,000 that entered Moonbeam, which is actually insane. And then you have Optimism with a negative 1.6 million actually leaving, Phantom with negative 29,000 leaving, and then a couple of other chains that I'm surprised are even up here, to be honest. I wonder where Base is actually. I'm sure they're probably missing a couple of chains here. I'd have to imagine they are, but pretty interesting stats, and definitely, as I mentioned earlier, the ecosystem's definitely been having a lot more eyeballs on it, probably given the price action of the governance token the past couple of days. Of course, not financial advice. I'd imagine that's probably why you have a lot of people entering the ecosystem, just to to me, I think it's a little bit of both, of like seeing a lot of the hype from CT and a lot of people actually being more excited about Arbitrum again, but also just people being more interested in it who may have never even heard of it before. So it's great to see a lot more people being onboarded, alongside, of course, any capital that comes alongside that as well. So really exciting news here that yesterday Arbitrum actually hit an all-time high of $1.1 billion in 24-hour transaction volume on Uniswap, which actually makes the first L2 to date to cross $1 billion in daily volume on Uniswap, which is insane. So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, transaction activity is going through the roof on Arbitrum right now. So to me, if you ask me, I essentially call Arbitrum right now the liquidity layer of the internet. That's literally what it is right now. I guess it's always kind of been that, but I think more and more, and probably into this next bull market, you're going to see a lot more, I think, projects using Arbitrum as the standard for deployments, and hopefully even like meme coins and stupid stuff like that, where like you need liquidity essentially, sloshing around somewhere for it to be a success. So yeah, big news. Shout out to Uniswap for the announcement. And that's funny enough. You have Average Joe's Crypto again with another great tweet. This guy's great, by the way. Big fan of him. He says, if you're disappointed with the events of Front Tech, but still bullish on SocialFi, I recommend you check out Senko.tv by Senko Game Corp. Similar concept, but has built-in streaming capabilities. You can sign in using my referral link. Again, not financial advice. I'm also a big fan of Senko TV myself. It's essentially like a live streaming platform with SocialFi kind of built into it. But it's nice because if you're a streamer, you don't, it's a live streaming platform, but you don't need to actually engage in like the degen economics of SocialFi. If you're a streamer, you can literally just log in. I think you technically have to purchase your own pass, which is like nothing, I think, and then from there people can essentially buy your pass to see your streams, which is kind of like token gating to a certain extent. But the nice part is that they have some kind of economics built in, where it's like if you get enough people kind of actually watching and donating, then you can actually show your stream for free. Big fans of what they're doing over there. They're also launching a Orbit chain pretty soon. So definitely, an ecosystem to keep an eye out for in terms of updates. Like I said, I'm a big fan of them, and I actually have streamed on there before. The experience is actually pretty great. So looking forward to them improving that experience more and more over time. Next, we have Dith from Proof of Play. He says, as far as the onboarding the masses meme goes, a great game probably has the best potential to achieve it. Addressable market is greater than 3 billion people, mostly on mobile. Gaming has the numbers other use cases do not. I would 100% agree with this. And I think to go a step beyond this, by the way, is I'd say that like the only way you onboard the masses is to obfuscate the blockchain as much as possible. Proof of Play actually does this with their game Pirate Nation. So if you sign up for their game, essentially, it has a very mobile-like experience, even though you have to play it on the PC. You don't even know you're interacting with the blockchain. It's actually extremely seamless, and it's very fun to play. I just stopped playing it because I was getting a little too addicted to it, actually. But I totally agree. Like, to me, like, the only way the masses will actually the only way blockchain and crypto will meet the masses is through obfuscation, just like like the protocol of the internet is, right? No one knows how that works. We just use Google. Like that's literally it. But everything runs on like the internet protocol or whatever. So it's an example, but I think I totally agree with what Dith is saying here. And more so on like the broader spectrum of blockchain as an infrastructure versus like a product in and of itself. And lastly, we have a tweet here by Nakamotolisk. This is an interesting one. This is actually a comment under Anatoly's tweet about him saying if Solana will ever require a layer 2 solution. Essentially, the TLDR is that there's nothing stopping developers from creating layer 2s on Solana. However, Solana's aim is to scale at layer 1, essentially is what he's saying. So Nakamotolisk says, if it's as fast as the laws of physics allow it, it can't be decentralized. That's what Anatoly said that Solana should be. It's, very, very fast. The fastest possible communication system is a few massive supercomputers linked by a great circle microwave or satellite links, not some ambitious young dev in the Philippines with a potato internet connection and a cheap Raspberry Pi running a validator. The thing is, the market will not accept this fact until it is forced into people's heads by a catastrophe, and this is why I'm poor. No comment on the latter part of that tweet. More so, I kind of wanted to comment here and say that, this is the biggest criticism I have for Solana is that like inevitably, like you can't have a blockchain that does it all. Like there's a reason why like the trilemma exists. It's because you cannot you can't have your cake and eat it too. In this case, if you want to be able to process like transactions at the speed of light and also be extremely cheap, the only way you're going to do that is if you have supercomputers as validators, which means that the average person like myself will never be able to validate it. AKA, it's not decentralized. You're essentially running servers. I don't know. I realize that they're coming out with something called Fire Dancer, which is supposed to be like kind of like a light client that will hopefully solve that problem of needing these supercomputers to run things. But even that in and of itself, I don't think will solve it. Like at the end of the day, if the Fire Dancer client can do what a regular Solana client can do, then you're definitely going to be compromising on speed and cost, like without a doubt. Like it is what it is. So I think what they're actually going to end up doing is Fire Dancer, to me, I could be wrong. Maybe I am. Is very likely supposed to be a light client or a client that isn't necessarily like a validator to the same extent as a regular Solana validator is, because again, if it is and you can run it on a laptop, which would be great, then you're not going to achieve the same speed and cost that Solana currently has. It's pretty self-explanatory. Like I get there are improvements over time that can be made, through development and whatnot, like and iterations of systems coming out, with updates. But I don't know. Like again, like I said, you can't have your cake and eat it too. We've heard it time and time again that people have solved the trilemma and they never actually do. So we'll see. Maybe Solana's the first. You never know. Anyways, we'll end off as usual, shilling the Beneath the Layers podcast. Feel free to take a look if you don't mind. If you're interested in the kind of show dedicated to showcasing entrepreneurs and people telling their stories, building things in crypto, I highly recommend you give it a look. I am the host of it, so you'll see a lot more of me in this show. Look, that's literally me, just sitting and listening to this guy. Shout out to G-Funk, great guy. That being said, thank you guys for watching as usual, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.